Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our webinar. My name is Fernando Leon, and I am your host. And I'm joined by my co-host, Gregory Moravietz. And today we're going to discuss a case study of one of our clients who, well, the title of our show is exactly that, right? Transitioning to a fixed cost MSP model, a break fix IT firm's journey. So as all of you know, the IT landscape changes at a very fast pace. IT service firms continuously have to adapt to meeting the changing demands of client requirements. Now, this webinar is going to go over the transformation of a small IT firm, which began as a traditional, like many of you do start as a traditional break fix IT service firm. They wanted to transition into a forward-thinking managed service provider. This shift went beyond simply changing service delivery approaches. It was a strategic move to align with market shifts, improve customer satisfaction, and facilitate steady expansion into new industries and markets. So let's kick this show off. But first, let's go over the table of contents. And I hate that break for a sponsor announcement because it's not going to be a break. It just happens. So I got to take that out. But anyways, we're going to go over on the background of the IT firm, the decision, the why, what was the reason for that decision, right? The predictable revenue, improving customer relationships. They wanted to scale, at least implement a model that they can scale. They had the market, the market demands a specific product. They wanted to meet that. But there's challenges with anything, right? And there's implementation challenges. But we'll go over the success of, the client segmentation, the investment they made in a partnership, the predictable costs. They implemented a fixed cost model, and they started selling value over tech services because of the MSP model. Now, outcomes and benefits, well, stable revenue growth. Clients were happier. They were operating much more efficient, and they were able to differentiate themselves with a market competitiveness. So, and then we'll close it with the conclusion and then touch real quickly on the white label partnership. All right, so let's get into this. And well, this IT firm, well, was established in the Bay Area and began its operations as just like many of you, a standard break fix service provider, which offers, immediate assistance to clients facing a technical challenges. So while this model gained traction in the early 2000s, it depended largely on the unpredictable nature of IT issues, right? Leading to revenue fluctuations and hindrances in growth. Now, as the market evolved, emphasizing proactive IT management, the company faced a pivotal decision because it's a competitive market and an uncertain sector and this they knew they had to make a pivot. So they wanted to offer something that was predictable, delivered value, and was easy to scale. All right, so the signs were everywhere, right? Market dynamics indicated a growing preference within the SMB sector for the managed IT service model. Management found the shift from break fix to a proactive approach to be a more straightforward decision for them specifically. They knew they were going to have challenges with their client base because you condition people. When you condition businesses and owners of businesses, it's hard to sell them something new. But we'll touch on that in a little bit. Now, let's talk about the predictable of revenue, right? A model based on Fixed cost ensures a steady stream of revenue, right? This is monthly revenue, reoccurring revenue, which this enhances the financial forecasting accuracy and stability. Now, the CEO of the IT company recognized the need to transition from the unpredictable revenue fluctuations, which are obviously inherent in the break fix model. So let's talk about how happy these clients are, right? The conventional break fix model provided little to no value, specifically to the SMB market. And break fix market, the break fix model is primarily focused on resolving issues as they come up, as many of you know, and transitioning to a proactive managed service approach enabled a more collaborative partnership, placing emphasis on preventing problems rather than reacting to them as they come up, because that's how life is in the break fix model, right? You wait for that fire, you wait for that phone call to come in. So that's the life of the break fix model. Now, scalability. The fixed cost model enhances scalability by allowing IT companies to forecast resource needs with greater precision. This enables sustainable management of growth via tiered service packages. Building low maintenance environments will minimize support calls, which means your IT staff will have less emergencies and overall reducing support calls. You guys get inundated with emergencies, unpredictable calls, unpredictable networks going down. It's just unpredictable. But when you implement a proactive model, you're going to have less problems. Now, the market was showing a growing demand towards favoring outsourced IT departments, especially among small and mid-sized organizations, because they lack resources to main internal teams. It takes a lot to not only uh, uh, hire these full-time people, but it's expensive. So this change created a clear opportunity for the IT firm to meet the rising demand in this market, because SMBs, they can't afford full-time people, so they'd rather outsource. And when do you outsource? You outsource to firms that are going to bring value. So this transition faced, well, numerous obstacles, and we'll go over these challenges. But initially, well, there was a need for a significant initial investment in RMM, or remote monitoring and management tools. And what goes along with that is training employees to adopt a proactive service delivery approach. So that was one option for them, right? Investing in all these tools, training staff, training sales, training techs. It was a long list of boxes to check off. Now, another option they considered was teaming up with a white label managed service provider that could provide a comprehensive tech stack and already staff that is trained to execute the proactive model. I mean, these white label MSPs provide a turnkey solution, so very little for IT break fix firms to do. Now, the CEO faced another obstacle from the established customer base. Having served their clients for more than 10 years, the CEO relied mainly on a break fix model, persuading their clients to transition from that reactive, right, that burning building, to proactive, to preventing the burning building. It was going to be a challenge. And they discovered that 90% were hesitant on embracing this change because who likes change? Nobody likes change. So, you're already in that comfort zone, and why get out of it? So, changing and on top of that, changing the internal staff's mindset from reactive to proactive methodologies presented a notable challenge. So eventually, the CEO decided to partner with a white label IT company that offered a flexible turnkey solution, which resulted in a decrease in operational expenditures and capital expenditures. Your his OpEx and CapEx were reduced. Success does not occur overnight, guys. This is a process. But the CEO of this firm, of this IT firm, knew if they were going to minimize any challenges, they would have to take a strategic approach in order to succeed. And like I said, it can be a challenge. You can make this easy or you can make it challenging, especially if you do this on your own. If you don't have any experience implementing a proactive model, implementing a tech stack and configuring all these tools. So automation, scripting, backup, EDR. We're talking PSA tools, tying everything together with billing. It can be a challenge, and but when you have a white label partner, there's less things for you to worry about. All right, so the IT company ID'd a handful of clients who stood to benefit from the proactive managed IT service model and made those clients a priority, right? Like, okay, you guys are going to get this model. We're going to implement it within your infrastructure. So the IT firm utilized their clients' feedback on the implementation of the MSP service, so they could easily implement it again. And this IT firm created a cookie cutter approach that helped streamline the implementation of the MSP model. Now, the go to the next slide here, and the teaming, the investment in a partnership. Let's talk about that real quick because they teamed up with a white label MSP, which was a strategic decision by the CEO, proved to be a huge benefit for the IT, for the break fix IT company. This decision led to a decrease in staff numbers, liability, and capital and operational expenses. But through this white label partnership, they gained significant flexibility and were able to transition to an MSP without the substantial initial investment required for implementing a proactive model, right? Because you guys got to put some money up front, and it's expensive. But when you partner with a white label organization, there's not going to be a lot of expenses in the beginning. Now, the white label partner assisted them in establishing a fixed pricing and implementing the appropriate technology stack, right? Because companies that are out there, they're trying to sell you everything under the moon because that's how they make money. White label providers that are legitimate and have integrity are only going to sell you what you need. And these other firms, well, if you buy 100 licenses, they're going to demand that you pay for 100 licenses, even though you don't need them. Good white label partners won't do that to you. So implementing a number of technology is easily done with a great white label partner. All right, so the managed service provider offered prospective clients a reliable pricing model because it includes unlimited technical support, and that feature resonated with them, right? They love unlimited tech support. Now, don't confuse that with including projects and unknowns, right? Or Linux environments, because you can't include unlimited support for products that are not included, and projects. There's too many unknowns, right? So you have to go in, you have to scope the project, and then determine, okay, it's going to take this long, you're going to need this, et cetera, et cetera. So it's but the ongoing support should be unlimited at a fixed cost. Now, clients valued the transparency provided, which allowed them to grasp their monthly IT expenses. And the time and material approach not only functions reactively, but also brings about uncertain expenses. But when you're implementing the proactive model, you're going to have a lot more happier clients, and that is and the predictable costs. They love proactive and predictable costs. Just keep that in mind. Now, successfully conveying the benefits of the MSP model to clients relied heavily on showcasing proactive interventions that prevented downtime, and which plays a crucial role in dispelling hesitations regarding the new pricing framework, right? Because everybody's gonna is gonna be, you've already conditioned them to, hey, you only pay for what when we do work. Well, when you implement an MSP model, they're gonna you're pitching them, hey, you're gonna pay this every month, regardless. You're not gonna see me working, but we're working behind the scenes. And some clients, it's a tough pill to swallow. But when you have great salespeople, they understand the MSP model, they know how to sell value. It's an easy sell. And when you work with single point of contact, I help you guys sell it, so you don't have to worry about that whole pitch. Now, let's now go over the outcome and benefits because they were significant. Now, adopting a fixed cost model facilitated a consistent revenue stream. This this helped them plan for this helped bolster financial planning capacities and facilitating investments in marketing initiatives and the recruitment of sales personnel, because you even though you do need marketing, you do need salespeople to pitch the service to the people knocking on your door. All right, so the proactive strategy implemented within the MSP model contributed to reduced downtime for clients, which they loved, and which also minimized emergency calls. And this resulted in elevated satisfaction levels and also improved client retention rates. Now, the IT company enhanced its operational efficiency by incorporating RMM tools and adopting a proactive service strategy, which enabled it to address potential issues before they became a disruption or a hindrance on the network. So delivering that model, an RMM tool plays a big part, but it's just one component of many when you're implementing the MSP model. Now, the most recent offering from the IT firm solidified its supremacy in a market that leans towards managed services, right? This helped them distinguish themselves from rivals that were still stuck on that break fix methodology. And when you are meeting market demand and the other groups are not, you're gonna be ahead of the pack. Now, with the help of a white label MSP, the transition to delivering a 24/7 help desk and proactive model was an easy move for this IT firm. And the evolution of the IT company from a reactive break fix approach to a proactive fixed cost MSP model showcases the significant impact of aligning service provision with market needs and client preferences. Clients prefer no downtime, right? They prefer that you have a plan in place that prevents them from having, emergencies, disruptions to the network. Now, this transition not only enhanced their financial resilience and growth prospects, but also it strengthened their client relationships, and they operated much more efficiently. And the advancement of this IT firm serves as a compelling model for similar transformations in the IT service industry, which highlights the importance of strategic planning, investment in technology, and workforce development. And the value of prioritizing a proactive, client centric service model, because you don't sell service centric models, right? You sell and offer client centric service models. The client is conforming to you, you are conforming to the client. Now, we're going to close it with a little bit on single point of contact, right? We're a leader here as a white label managed IT service provider in North America. We were established over 2 decades ago, and our proactive stance towards IT services and security support allows clients to prioritize their business objectives over network concerns. And we possess that expertise to support various aspects of IT management, security strategies, cloud support and solutions, procurement services, boots on the ground. And we also provide expertise for cloud and complex projects. So reach out today to explore how our services can enhance your IT operations. And Greg, that's it. That's a wrap. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I want to add a lot.
Oh, okay.
So first of all, you're telling everybody what they can expect, what can they get, but I think a lot of people are putting together the dots wrong, and I'll tell you why. They think that if you hire a white label managed service provider, it takes on all of the functionality of a managed services provider with a brand, with a salesperson, with an executive team. This is not that. That's not the white labeling that we're doing. We're serving a purpose. We're a cog in the wheel of your organization that you may need to replace because you don't have the resources to do it or you want to scale. But we're not, for instance, we're not your account managers. We do not take the place of account managers, nor does the our white label persona facilitate that. So we don't have an AM that talks to your customers, finds out their requirements, creates project plans, follows up with the customer, gives them monthly reporting. We don't do that for you. If you think that any white label service provider does that, they don't. We all for we all facilitate one function, and that is to provide you with a technical resource organization that you can fall back on for a few things. One of them, like you mentioned, was licensing. Another one is technical support. So all of the services in the managed services pro- provider arsenal are viable, it's scalable, rentable to us. But like for instance, we're not your salespeople. We do not sell for you. We do not, we don't do that. And if you expect an MSP to manage your accounts, to sell for you, to be your executive team, it that doesn't really that's not their sweet spot. So I wouldn't even really ask them to do it because that's not how they go about doing business. They provide like RMM tools and MFA tools and the ability to configure, troubleshoot, maintain, and expand or transition from or over to those types of services. So it's very we're running into more and more people that think that if you outsource to a white label MSP, that all of a sudden you have outsourced all of the tertiary items that go along with being part of your business. Except for some reason, no one thinks billing the customer is our responsibility, but definitely everyone assumes that you're going to manage the account, which you're not. It's not our relationship. And if it were our relationship, it'd basically be our customer. So you would want to steer away from having your MSP white label provider managing the relationships between you and the customers that you service.
Well,
Do you,
let me let
do
me
you
let me
agree with
let
that?
me let, yeah, I no, no, I agree on the AM side. I don't know if I ever said that we would have manage accounts. I never said that.
No,
But
I
I
think it's an assumption, though. I think if you say
sure.
we're your MSP, people think, well, you're the MSP, you're the managed service provider. Doesn't that include your CSO, figuring out what projects need to be created, figuring out if the customer's happy? You're talking about customer satisfaction, but what everyone doesn't sometimes realize is that customer satisfaction is something you, as the company, not
Yeah.
the MSP, not the outsourced MSP, you try to figure out, is my customer happy? You need to go to them and say, hey, um, I provided you with, I solved 20 of your tickets last month, but we ran into trouble on 3. Let's talk about it. It's not the position of the managed services provider to provide you with account management other than supports from reports.
Yeah. No, no, no. We've been supporting the IT firm industry for the past 10 years, and I've never had one IT firm say, "I need you to be the account manager." Only, well,
They don't
I,
say it. They
I
think it though.
no, I've never had one come to me and even say it or think it. With the exception, you did tell me one time that one IT firm expected that of us, and you let them know. But yeah, that's not part of it. That's not, if and I make that pretty abundantly clear when we start the engagement. But yeah, that is out of the scope. That's, there's a scope in every agreement, right?
There could be
And
stuff written. I know what you're talking about. And
right.
there could be stuff written, but when your technician starts to deal interactively with the customer or the customer lead, and one of our techs is dealing with the customer lead constantly, and there's a rapport, a connection is created between them. And when that
Yeah.
connection occurs, it takes away from the account management of that account. And you need to be very aware that you need to manage the account. You need to meet with the customer. You need to talk to the customer, not the MSP. Because you've hired an MSP doesn't mean that you have somehow lost all your responsibilities and everything is just going to cook away and be fine.
Yeah. No, 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 I agree. I agree. And um we have some VIP IT clients, just to clarify a little bit on the sales side, who, they s- they're not great at selling managed services, SOC services, help desk services. So I help them out. It's not like I'm making calls every day with them, but when they have an opportunity and they say, "Hey, Fernando, we have an opportunity. Can you be in this meeting?" Absolutely. I'm going to be in that meeting with them and I'm going to help them close the deal. And I don't see that being as a problem, at least not yet. But I try to help as many of our clients as possible when it comes to, selling value, because they don't understand that concept. They don't get it. So, and it's tough. It's a tough one to grasp. But yeah, I get it. And I think, again, these IT firms, I haven't had anyone assume that, oh, I get a sales guy too. No one has ever made that assumption.
Well, they definitely do. And so, and from the technical level, from the account management level, everyone expects that we somehow are, you know, somehow keeping track of what's going on at the customer site. That we look at at their bill every month, that we look at their what we're charging them, what services they have, what all these different things that an account manager would do. Is the customer happy? We don't know, and we don't technically, we care from a perspective of we want to give the best possible service, but we don't care if your customer gets a call from you, or we're never going to call them and say, are you happy?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
need you have to do that, and you have to do it every month with every customer. So if you sell like 10 accounts and you just go, okay, this PLC is going to take care of them, you've missed it completely. You need to take care of them. You just All we are is the chef to your restaurant. We don't run the ads. We're not hostesses. We are not waiters. We are not busboys. We just fix the food in the back, and that's all. If
yeah,
you think of us in any other way, you need to adjust your expectations, because we just provide a service. We just provide all the services, not the customer relationship management.
yeah. If you were going to use the restaurant analogy, that's great, right? We're the cooks in the back making the food. The waiter is the IT service owner who
Yes.
is supporting the client, asking for food, is complaining to the waiter. He's not the restaurateur who or the client isn't going to the kitchen and saying, "You messed up my order," right?
Absolutely
the
not. And
the yeah, the waiter makes sure that everyone is happy. So yeah,
they'll
I
they'll
yeah,
try to do that. They'll
yeah,
try to go to the kitchen and say, "I want my steak isn't cooked well done enough," and you're like, "You can't be back here,"
yeah,
because they need to go to they need to go to their account manager and say, "I'm not happy. This needs to be fixed. What are our steps to fixing it?" Because a lot of the times the cook's not even he's incapable of receiving that kind of feedback.
yeah,
You have to go to your account manager. You have to use the layers that have been set up for you. You can't just skip over. And some people skip because the account manager is non-responsive,
yeah,
and they just skip and go directly to the technician and go, I want this. I want these reports. I want that. I want the other thing." And it's like, no, you shouldn't be doing that.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Completely agree.
All
Now,
right, that's all I have to say.
was
That's
there
me.
anything else? Is that all what you
No,
had to say?
that's all I had to say.
Oh, okay. well, well, thanks for sharing. Well, guys, that's gonna be a wrap. And thanks for listening. And if you have any questions, you can always contact us at sales@singlepointoc.com. If you have any questions regarding scaling, selling value, marketing, tech stack, email us. We respond pretty quickly. All right, guys, have a good night.